You're a villain because you didn't want to be their victim. You're a villain because you didn't want to be their victim. When you understand human psychology, human behavior, and the patterns of humans, you're going to stop allowing yourself to feel any type of guilt for enforcing a boundary. In my past, I used to always feel this guilt for enforcing a boundary because I knew if I enforced that boundary, that person would start disliking me or make me an enemy or may even create a smear campaign because I created that boundary. So I would refrain from creating boundaries to avoid being looked at as the villain or the mean girl. Now I wear that as a badge of honor. There are some people out there who are looking for victims. They're looking for prey. They're looking for people that they can use to their own advantage. They're looking for people that they can use as a robot to control. They're looking for people that they can take their anger out on, Some people are looking for people that they can pass their rage on, right? Do not be afraid to tell people to get out of your face. Because sometimes it's really all it takes, because it's like people want you to be their victim. And when you push back and you decide that you're not going to be that, you are now their villain. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, if you ask somebody why they do not like me, they are going to tell you a fabricated version of what really happened, right? Because people get mad with 2 things. 1, people get mad when you cut them off, right? When people do something weird and you cut them off immediately, they get mad at that because they thought that you were going to give them a chance and you didn't. They didn't see it coming. So they're mad because now they don't have a seat at your table anymore. That's usually the case for me. Or case number 2, where they tried to be a bully and it didn't work. So a lot of times people are reacting to you in a way where they're calling you a villain, or they're saying that you're evil, or they're saying these things about you because you were not willing to be their victim. Okay, you are not willing to be their victim. That's why I always tell you guys, sometimes you have to take a breath and not internalize how people feel about you because it doesn't freaking matter at the end of the day. Most people are viewing you through their own insecurities, through their own limitations, through their own narcissistic ways, and you didn't fall in line with their programs. So because of that, that's why they don't like you. And honestly, you shouldn't lose any sleep over it, ever. You shouldn't lose any sleep over it because people will make you the villain because you did not want to be their victim. There are a lot of people out there, you guys, who are not happy with their lives. They do not like their situation. And because they don't like their situation, they go through life looking for people to put that rage on, and when you're not willing to be on the receiving end of their rage and their disrespect and their craziness, when you're not willing to be on the receiving end of that, they are gonna try to punish you by ruining your reputation, making up lies about you, whatever the case may be, they're going to retaliate because you refuse to be their victim. Now, I tell people all the time, I'm going to fight for my inner child. I'm going to fight to protect myself. I'm going to fight to protect myself in the ways that I was not protected when I was a child. You're not going to bully me. You're not going to talk crazy to me. I promise you that. You're not going to step to me, right? You're not going to challenge my intelligence. You're not going to start acting a fool. You're not going to raise your voice at me. You're not going to curse at me. You're not going to talk to me incorrectly. I have firm boundaries. You're not going to manipulate me. You're not going to use me for money. You're not going to do any of those things. I will not accept it. And I don't mind being the villain. That's also the shocker for a lot of people, is I don't mind being the bitch in your story. I don't mind being the mean girl in your story. I don't mind being the girl you can't stand. I don't mind it. Because I know that as long as I enforce a boundary, you're going to feel that way. If I call you out on something, you're going to feel that way about me. You're not always going to like me. And I'm 100% okay with that. Because as long as my inner child is protected, as long as I'm protecting myself as a woman, that is my main priority. It's not about you. It's about me protecting myself from you. So a lot of you guys, I don't want you to feel, like, I don't want you to feel like you're doing something wrong by protecting yourself, because you're not doing anything wrong by not wanting to be someone's victim. A lot of people, I've noticed that, especially working in the service industry, I've noticed that some people, because I have to work with clients, some people, they are so demented internally, so angry, so they're unraveling internally, and they will literally take that out on anybody who's in proximity to them. That's why the workplace is so dangerous. Because people go to work with all of their problems and they look for leisure people to take it out on. The fact that you come to work with a smile on your face is going to piss people off, and they're going to, unload on you. You come to work, looking good, looking beautiful, they'll punish you. It's like people are looking for people that they can make their victims, especially in dating. I'm going to talk to the ladies for a second. Ladies, a lot of men are not looking for wives. They're not looking for girlfriends. They're looking for victims. They're looking for prey. They're looking for supply, and, you're not protecting yourself. You don't have your guard up. So as a result of that, you may become a victim of their discrepancies or their dysfunction. So it's my goal to always encourage people to be okay being the villain, as long as it means you're protecting your inner child, as long as it means you're protecting yourself, as long as it means you're protecting your well-being in a way of integrity. Not protecting yourself meaning you're throwing people under the bus and doing evil things. No, but as long as you're protecting your well-being, you have to be okay being the villain. I'm a villain in a lot of people's stories, and I promise you, if you get the truth, not the lie that they're going to tell you, if you get the truth, you're going to know that I was doing what I needed to do to defend myself. And I was cutting the disrespect off, and I was putting a boundary in place, and I wasn't allowing them to continue to move the goalposts to waste my time. And they got mad, and as a result of that, Mel's a bitch. If you get the real story, the true story, it's because they couldn't take advantage in some way, or they couldn't overstep in some way, and they got angry about that. So they went straight to reputation ruining because I escaped, right? So when you don't want to be someone's victim, you will be their villain. And you have to get comfortable with being the villain, because it's better to be that than to be somebody's stake, because if you go through life not removing yourself from a victim situation, people are going to eat you with a fork and knife, like a nice, well-done steak with butter spread on top of it. So you have to be the one to say, not going to happen. Class, don't forget to be there. We have self-mastery and manifestation. Yes. In order to stop living the life that does not belong to you, you have to put in the work to live the life that does belong to you. In this class, we're going to talk about mastering yourself, of course, mastering your characteristics, changing your mind, and doing what you need to do to manifest your 4D into your 3D. If you don't know the difference between 4D and 3D, Google it. But we're also going to talk about how to get your manifestations right here, right now to this dimension so you can move your life forward. Also, divestor pathway. Come on. Which one of you guys are ready to leave the past behind, leave your old group of friends behind, leave your toxic family behind, and do what's necessary to create the life that you desire? Divesting can be scary for people because you're basically starting everything by yourself and you're leaving everybody behind. So you're going to go through life by yourself, at least for the start of it, but it's okay. This class is going to give you the tools and really the resources on how to navigate starting an entire brand new life away from your toxic family and environment. Don't forget to sign up.